Hello, this is Jean-Miguel and welcome back to another video of last Epoch. So I wanted to showcase the boss fights on the Harbinger in high corruption with some advice to how to beat them with a minion oriented build. Okay, so let's start with the Shamans. I've made a previous video on how to kill the Harbinger very fast in 10 seconds in 100 corruption. And this is the same principle in high corruption. This is I think around 580. You just put the Wraith Lord in the middle and you just avoid basically everything that pops on the ground. For the fireballs, it's pretty easy and straightforward. Just a mechanic that you have to be careful if you play this build is that you have to put the Dread Shade on the Wraith Lord anytime you have the possibility to do it. Otherwise, he's gonna be completely useless. Yeah, he doesn't do any damage without the Dread Shade anymore. Around like 4k or something. The beam does very little damage if it doesn't crit. So yeah, it's basically avoid stuff. This is the easy part. And now the Harbinger is gonna pop out. So just make the potions, get your DPS as high as possible. And let's start. So one thing I noticed for both male and female Harbingers is basically not to be in front of them, especially close, otherwise you risk to die. So what I like to do is to be as far as possible and also try to get behind them if I don't have a lot of space depending on the map. So if you stay far you should be fine. And let the Wraith Lord, you know, protect you. So what I like now with this new patch is like you can really use this build as a strategic option as well, and it requires skills and some, you know, decision making on how you position your character and how you TP to relocate your Wraith Lord as well. But I think this kind of strategy would be applicable on any minion build oriented, so I hope this helps if you struggle a bit in high corruption against these dudes. So let's go for who's this one now, the Abomination. So yeah, don't forget to shoot the pillars first. The good thing is the Wraith Lord still one-shots the pillars, so you don't lose time and you don't get the beam, not the beam, just the sea of necrotic damage. And this one does quite a lot of damage actually. So now it's pretty straightforward. I think most of you know how to beat this one. Just avoid stuff. So now the Harbinger, okay. So same principle, I try to stay far or behind, never in front. So I try to use evade as best as possible to be in a good position. This map is alright because it's circular and gives quite a lot of space to play around. Oops! Almost got this one, eh? But honestly, I think if you're fast enough on the evade or any TP spell, the Harbinger should be fine. It's just that you need to be careful and play decently, and that should be fine, to be honest. So I think their mechanics are quite easy to understand if you play them a bit. From my experience, it's more difficult for me as a melee character, maybe because my Blade Dancer is quite low level for now. But as a minion build oriented, I don't think they're quite too hard. It's just a bit of practice. So Rahyeh now. Quite like this dude. It's quite classy. Yeah, these ones are quite annoying. Depending on your movement speed upgrade, you have to find the area in the circle to turn, basically. That's something I noticed. So I have around 32 or 40 depending on if I'm frozen with my boots or not. So it's around a small circle. If you're very fast, it's around the middle of the circle. But basically, if you turn around, it's working pretty well. Oh, but don't start with a hit, otherwise I can one-shot Like my poor Waithlord just got killed here. So in this case, don't panic, just respawn it and put the Dread Shade and the Infernal Shade back on. So another big Harbinger. You can tell that this area is already a bit tighter, and wow, this is harder to predict. Yeah, thank God I can survive this. Was a bit lucky here. It's less predictable than the actual boss because he wasn't exactly in the position I would expect him to be. But yeah, as usual, try to get some defense as well. I have 6k ward with the zombies that buff my ward anytime they pop in. So yeah, you can't be just all DPS, it's too risky for me. Yeah, if you get just one, it should be fine, but ideally you shouldn't get any if you play better than me. But yeah, as long as you don't stay in front of them again, that's the main important thing. This attack is pretty impressive in the beginning, but yeah, if you just stay behind, that's fine. Come on now. Okay. Wasn't easy this one, eh? So the big dragon. Quite like this boss as well. It's has some presence. It's not too difficult, so again, this one you shouldn't be next to his wings. Yeah, well, I assume it's a male, but maybe it's a female, this dragon. I don't know, actually. So let's go for it. You shouldn't be close to its wings. And just be careful of this, you have plenty of time to retreat. Don't stay too much again in the circle of Necrotic Beam. Don't take the beams on the ground as well. So yeah, if you just go around, don't stay in the middle, you should be fine. Just be a bit patient. It has quite a lot of health points. Well, don't do that. Don't be in front of him. I almost died, you see. But mistakes can happen. So now we're gonna have another big Harbinger. This is another male one. And yeah, this pitting of Necrotic is very, very long and big, so I would suggest stay as far as possible if you can. So you would be safe not to take it, and never in the middle. So I was quite in the corner, so I could avoid it, but if I were in the middle, I would have died. So yeah, it's a lot about positioning, really. Yeah, I got lucky as well here. Yeah, this one I evaded quite good. Ah, this shield is annoying sometimes. It's too long. Yeah, I think he's gonna be toast. Here we go. The Stolen Lens one. Argentus, I think he's called. There are a lot of stuff on the ground with this boss, but you have quite a lot of time to react. It's not too fast. Of course, never stay in the orange carpets. These are not the right carpets. These are deadly, deadly carpets indeed. But again, you have a bit of time to just to evade. You see, I wasn't very reactive, but it was fine. it's starting to be a bit messy on the ground, right? Well, the important thing is to keep calm and get the timings right, and we should be fine. So now it's the other Harbinger, the female one. It's basically the same principle for me. Try to be as far as possible because she can TP on you and make a lot of damage. And this beam of fire with this red carpet is extremely deadly. It's one of the most frustrating attacks because it's extremely fast, and this one you don't have a lot of time, to react. If you're very fast to the keyboard, that should be fine. But basically, if you're far away and you're not in front of them, it's better not to be in the carpet in the first place. Yeah, some fights I just don't know what the boss is. I run and the Wraith Lord does the job. And if the Wraith Lord is lost, I just TP to relocate it with me and we go again. It's not very elegant. You see, I almost died with this one. So at least don't get one shot. Have some gear not to get one shot according to corruption you're playing. Otherwise it's gonna be really frustrating. Oh, the good Heorot. This time, man, this one I think he's very, very neat, very nice boss, but also very frustrating sometimes. So the circles, just make sure you're in the right place. And here you have to follow, when he starts to charge, you have to follow his movement, but never stay in front of him again. Otherwise he can one-shot you with the lance attack or make the beam, which is extremely frustrating. So you don't actually need to evade these circles. He starts close and then go far away and then come back to him for the second one, and that's it. Well, that's the part that I like. I can get some rest, rebuff my Wraith Lord. Okay, Heorot, that's enough. Ah, shield again. Ah, it's gone. Alright, the Harbinger now. So I use the shrine for the Harbinger. It wasn't a very useful shrine, but it's still something, I guess. So this one is very annoying when he says something around like infinite winter or something. He says something like this, and the whole map is deadly of winter. Cold is dangerous, yes, you didn't know that. So you have to be close to him when he says infinite winter. Otherwise, you can be very far away, and as he says the infinite winter, just go back to him and be behind him, never in front. Yeah, here we go again. Because he usually used the beam afterwards, and then you get toast. So revolves around him. You see that I'm very close, this massive attack. But it's pretty safe if you have the good position. Yeah, the Wraith Lord sometimes is sleeping on the job, like turning around, wondering, I don't know why. They should correct it, this is very frustrating. I mean, the Wraith Lord shouldn't turn around like this, like an idiot. Okay, Lagon, my old friend. I used to hate this boss. I found a nice spot to make some damage and be quite safe. It's gonna be right here in the corner. So, worst case scenario, you take tentacle damage. You don't take the beam or anything. You just make sure you avoid this moon attack. It's gonna one-shot you, but you have a lot of time to dodge it. So I just stay here. I think it's a pretty comfy spot, to be honest. And let the Wraith Lord and his minion do the job. I also... I'm under the impression that they nerfed the damage of these waves. They don't do a lot of damage. I go through them and it's totally fine. So I'm not so sure. Maybe it's... yeah, I think they nerfed it. Yeah, I take around 600. Don't go too much into them, but they're not as dangerous as before, it seems. Which is, for me, good news, because it could have been quite frustrating. Quite a lot of waves all around the map. Sometimes it's overwhelming. Okay, so pop the potions for the third part of the fight. Being our next favorite spots. Avoid this massive attack. Go back to the comfy spot. Oh, it killed my Wraith Lord, so in this case just revive him. Oh, another time. Jesus, my Dread Shade is long way. It's okay, just be patient. It should be fine. Yeah, the Wraith Lord is completely useless without the Dread Shade. Okay, now it's a very difficult part. I died a lot of times. I think around 8 times or something. Because you don't have a lot of space, so I guess the best bet is either you get lucky, either you get massive defense to not die like this in one shot. And also you can try to be like revolving, not be in front of her. But it's quite difficult, to be honest, because sometimes you want to avoid everything and you can't avoid everything. I didn't find any particular good spots, so also I don't think there is enough space to avoid the TP back on you. So yeah, for Lagon, yeah, I think get as much as defense as possible. But the principle will stay the same. Never in front, behind, and be very reactive. Oh, the Frost Lich. I farmed this one quite a lot for its boots. I never got a proper boot, so I'm very angry at him. At it, I don't know. Seems like a dude, but or a dead. Let's go for it. Yeah, this one is not very difficult. It's quite an easy boss. The winter and the cold markings are quite easy to dodge, and they do damage over time. Not like very piercing and strong damage in one go, like one shots. But the Harbinger is still as deadly as the other. So you see, when you have a bit of space, you can avoid the TP. So now I'm very close. I really try to stay out of range of her. She's really dangerous. It's very important to get the zombies back, both for your health and for the Wraith Lord DPS, and health again as well. The Wraith Lord gets his life back as well with the zombies explosions. Okay, that was hot, that was done, that was difficult. The big Spider-Man. So if you wanna have the Harbinger after this one, I strongly suggest that you get rid of the big snakes, because they stay for the Harbinger fight afterwards. So what I try to do is to get in a spot where the beam of the Wraith Lord, which are quite spread actually, it's around, I don't know, 150 degrees, they can shoot at both the big spider and the big snake. So you can see both are taking damage. The Dread Shade is gone, but I can put it back on. Yeah, this is not very difficult, it's just quite long because there are three bosses and a Harbinger. And yeah, with the shield they have quite a lot of health. But if you don't do the Harbinger, just focus, I guess, on the Spider, no? I haven't done this one without the Harbinger yet, in this new patch. So I'm not so sure, actually. I guess you have to defeat both the Spider and the Snake, obviously. Okay, now I have a bit of space to run. So run! It's a bit cringe, but yeah, just run. Let the Wraith Lord do his work. Yeah, I think she's more annoying than the male Harbinger, which is slower, and I think the attacks are more easy to dodge. This red beam timing is really, really fast. I think that's the only attack I die all the time, is this red beam. I don't evade as quickly as I can, and just boom. This is, you see, doable. I almost died, but it never one-shots me. And I think 6k ward at the high level is pretty easy to get if you played a bit of hours like me. Or like health points with endurance, depends on your build. Okay, let's fast forward because this is getting too long for me. Last thing I want to do is bore you guys, so... Okay, done. Oh, her voice is so funny. Oh, this one is my... I hate this one. The mechanic of the 3-element circle is just a nightmare. I found a spot where sometimes I don't take damage, sometimes I do. In this case, I do take damage. But honestly, this is, if you look at where the bolt comes through, I wasn't good on this one, but it goes the direction to where the bolt is next to him. So yeah, if you pay attention to where the bolt starts next to him, you should be fine to dodge these massive snowballs or wind bolts, I don't know. Yeah, this one was around 380 corruption. It was too much work to make it higher than that. Yeah, this one is my weakness, okay? That's I assume it. That's right. What should I do? Evade, TP. Actually, you can double evade and TP should be fine, huh? Maybe I should try like this next time in the beginning without being in one spot that actually takes damage. Yeah, I think it's doable. If you have double evade and then a TP, that should work. I was going in the wrong direction. Come on. Oh. Well, I got lucky here. Right, it's gonna be alright. It's gonna be fine. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please leave your comments if you want to subscribe and like. It would be my pleasure. And see you in the next video.